Joining me today is UFC lightweight Drew Dober, who takes on Islam Makhachev at UFC 259. Drew, how's it going?
Great, great. Being 1 month out, training's really picking up, so it's getting pretty hectic on my side.
Yeah, I can imagine. And I remember speaking to you briefly around June, I believe, and I was kind of asking you like, what's next? You had fought in May, you had that big win, and you mentioned Islam Makhachev. You said you wanted to fight him. So I was wondering, I mean, you got what you wanted. Why Islam? What is it about that matchup that you wanted?
I mean, he's a everyone's touting him as like the next Russian champion. He's super talented. And he poses some really big threats, and it's a test for myself to prove that if I can get past Islam, I'm ready for top 10, top five guys. And man, he's got a lot of following behind him, a lot of Russian fans. I think there's many reasons why I really like this fight.
And yeah, because you were scheduled to fight Diego Ferreira on multiple occasions. It kind of fell through, but it seems like you've been training for Diego for such a long time. He's a strong elite grappler with great jiu-jitsu. So has that preparation kind of been handy now that you're fighting his son?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's been extremely helpful. All of 2020 with my mind on Diego, I've been really focusing on my grappling and blending it in with my striking, and so I've evolved a lot, since the last time I've stepped in the cage, and I'm excited to showcase that.
Is part of you wanting this Islam fight? Because if you look at your record, you've won six of your past seven. That one blemish in the middle being Benil Dariush. You're having your way kind of with him on the feet. Few have been able to hang with you on the feet, but I guess if you look at your record in terms of the blemishes, whether the loss to Benil or Olivier Aubin-Mercier, is part of it you kind of proving that you've made those advancements in your game, and this is kind of the test that you need to catapult you to the upper echelon of the division?
Of course, I think a lot of people can't really take me seriously unless I showcase a strong ground game or a strong ground defense, and so I think I've evolved a lot since my last loss. Benil has really taught me a lot with my game, and man, we spent a lot of time in my coaches at really fine tuning and shaping things up to where I'm not just a striker, but I can wrestle and play jujitsu as well.
What has this training camp looked like for you in terms of Islam? Have you, I mean, Elevation Fight Team is not short of spectacular training partners, right? But have you had guys give you certain looks? How have you gone about training camp?
Man, I get all the looks here in Colorado. Guys from like Justin Gaethje to Neil Magny. We got Usman out here. I got a ton of looks. But in all honesty, I just focus on myself and the things that I need to do. For me, like my jab, my single leg, my arm bar, it all should look the same no matter what partner or opponent I have. And so, really, we took my last loss with Benil and try to figure out mentally and physically and technically the things I did wrong. And we've kind of shaped my camps around what I need, as far as fixing my weaknesses, improving on my strengths, and making my entire game flow seamlessly. And yeah, so I focus less about who I'm training with and who I'm fighting, and focus more about what I'm doing as a fighter.
And yeah, you've gone on a spectacular run since that loss to Benil. When you look at this matchup with Islam, because you were matched up with Diego, would you say you prefer this one, or does part of you wish that you still had that Diego fight?
I'm still looking at the Diego fight. Trust me, this weekend I have my eyes open for his
Yeah.
fight with Benil. But no, actually, I do prefer this fight. This fight. With all the talk with Islam and of course his talent and his ability and the fact that we've been scheduled to fight each other before, I just like the prestige around this fight really excites me. And yeah, I think I really enjoy this fight a lot better.
And of course, he's like super popular, being touted as a future champion. I remember Habib putting the belt on his shoulder at the UFC 242 press conference and all that. He's got a lot of followers on Instagram. Do you feel like the hype is warranted behind him? I mean, he's looked good. He hasn't fought the caliber of opponents that you have. I mean, you're definitely his toughest test on paper. But do you feel like the hype is warranted surrounding Islam?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think so. I think a lot of the hype comes from, I mean, when you have one of the greatest of all time, Khabib, talk so highly of you. And plus, Russian fans, follow their athletes wholeheartedly. And so I think that a lot of his hype comes from kind of like the person that, with Khabib and then the fan base and all that stuff, and not really so much about his accomplishments in the cage. And so, I mean, honestly, that's what I'm trying to test out, is to kind of see if the hype is really, all there, or. and that kind of thing. So I don't really see the hype being warranted, but we're here to find out March 6th.
And you talked about his passionate fans. Have they been raiding your DMs at all, bothering you at all, or anything like that?
Oh, of course, which I love. I love whether you want to see me win or want to see me lose. You're tuning into my fight and performing martial arts in front of as many people as possible is my dream. So I absolutely adore it.
And you've had some practice with Nasrat, I believe, right? Right? Like when you fought him, I remember his fans kind of going around your Instagram post, right?
Honestly, I think I got more negative opinions when I was fighting Nazareth than I do with Islam. But man, it's all the same to me.
You're immune to it now, I guess. And plus, it gives it a big fight feel, no? Right? It's a good thing.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's more eyes on my fight, and the more eyes, the more the merrier, and I get super excited about it. So I'm really just enjoying every moment of this camp.
Do you know where your fight is going to be placed on the card? I don't think they released the bout order or anything like that, but I get the feel that your fight is going to have some sort of coveted spot, whether in the pay-per-view or the featured prelim or something like that. But have you been told where your fight's going to be?
If I'm gonna be completely honest, I have no idea when and where I'm fighting until like fight week. I have like my own mother asking me like, oh, when do I need to tune in? I was like, I'll let you know after weigh-ins. I have no idea when I'm fighting. So yeah, this is the same scenario. Hopefully, since there's so many great other fights on this card, I can get my job done and over with early, so I can enjoy the rest of the card.
Okay, interesting. So you'd rather not be like on the pay-per-view main card, maybe the featured prelim or something?
I mean, the fight's recorded, and so people can tune in whenever they want. Sure, there's going to be re-airings, but yeah, I honestly don't care when I fight. Just being able to fight, and then also being able to enjoy the rest of the fights is all I care about.
I mean, look, it's a fantastic card. I think it's a fantastic matchup and it's a fantastic card. So I think people will be tuning in regardless. You spoke about Benil and Diego. That fight's going down this Saturday. How do you see that one playing out?
I mean, I feel Benil's gonna win this fight again with the same kind of like tactics. I think Benil's stand up is fantastic, and I think he can level out the jiu-jitsu playing field. So I think Benil could keep this fight standing and then just kind of pick Diego apart.
Isn't it weird? Because his fight with you, I feel like, was a turning point for him in the stand-up department. You were talking about your fight with him being like you wanted to be a turning point for your grappling. It's interesting, right? He's gone on this nice run, knocking people out.
Right. I mean, so Benil and I have actually trained with each other since that fight, and I've been a huge fan of his. And so, I mean, the fight was unique in the fact that like we were huge fans of each other when we fought. And I think you got to learn from your losses and also learn from your wins. And yeah, definitely Benil and I have both improved since that fight. And I think every fighter should always improve every time they're in the cage.
Absolutely. And where do you feel like a win over Makhachev puts you? I know you've spoken about kind of the upper echelon of the division. It's so exciting right now. I mean, lightweight is on fire. So where do you feel like a win over Islam puts you?
I want to fight like the Michael Chandlers, the Dustin Poiriers, all those guys. And so a win over Islam is going to propel me in that opportunity to fight those top five guys. I want to get on a title run. I want to have fantastic fights, and to fight the best of in the world, you have to start somewhere. And so a win over Islam is going to open up a ton of opportunities for me.
I know 2020 was a little frustrating for you because you've had those scrapped fights with Diego. You last fought in May. What has like the rest of 2020 up until now looked like for you? Were you kind of like always in the gym? Was it hard to kind of know when to taper down or anything like that?
It was unique in the fact that like you didn't know when or who you were fighting. But it really doesn't matter when you're just trying to improve your game. 2020 I wasn't trying to prepare for any one opponent. I was trying to prepare for any opponent. And so my ground game, my wrestling, my striking, and all the above, I was constantly in the gym trying to improve myself, for anybody really, whether it's tall, short, left-handed, right-handed, striker, grappler. It honestly doesn't matter. I've been improving as much as I possibly can every single day, and so now with a fight with Islam, like I've been preparing for, anybody.
Have you gotten a chance to work with Kamaru at all?
Yeah, him and I have rolled around and sparred a bit, and it's really cool, having an undefeated world champion in the gym and kind of just watching how he does his thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure a lot of guys have been popping into Elevation Fight Team. What's that been like? I mean, uh, you guys are getting the credit you deserve finally. I feel like you guys should have been getting that credit before, but I feel like people are really recognizing what a great gym you are. And you guys are having many fighters kind of fly in to train with you guys. So what's that been like getting all these exciting training partners?
I think it's just exciting the fact that we're finally getting recognized for what I feel has always been with Team Elevation is just the tremendous opportunity and resources we have here, and the camaraderie is something I've never seen before, and it's exciting to now seeing the successes of something that I've kind of predicted years ago, first moving out here, and so it's kind of like a good relief. It's like this is one of the best gyms in the world.
For sure, and I'll leave you with a couple more questions, and I appreciate your time. When you look at the matchup with Islam, is it as simple as striker versus grappler? I know that's what it's being dubbed as, but is that the way you see it?
Um, no, with me preparing for Diego and really working my ground game, Islam has not fought in a year and a half, and so who knows what he's been working on and what he's going to come with. And so I'd be dumb if I wanted to picture it as a striker versus a grappler. He could come in and try to kickbox with me and try to knock me out. So I have to prepare for the best Islam in every facet of the sport. So yeah, I'm ready for whatever.
I like it. And one last one. Do you envision the way it goes down? Do you envision the way you get your hand raised?
I always envision a knockout. I always envision the smooth process of aggressive dancing, finding his chin, and getting my hand raised that fashion.
Well, awesome stuff, Drew. I really appreciate you taking the time. I mean, much respect to you for calling for this matchup. He's not the most sought out guy in the world. Wanting to test yourself, you're on an incredible run, and it's definitely a matchup that a lot of fans are going to be intrigued in. So I appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck on March 6th.
I appreciate it, guys.